Greetings and a wonderful morning or afternoon or evening, wherever you are around in the continent. I know we are joined by at least 20 representatives around Africa. When we started as Riva, which is an energy solutions company, and you all came forward into saying that we are here, we want to be part of this journey, and we want to represent our countries. And today we have a network of at least 20 representations in Africa because of your willingness to come and be part of a solution. And since we started working together, we know we've been bumping into many challenges, different types of challenges. And basically, because what we want to power up the entire continent where we do not really want to leave anyone behind. And obviously that will come with some bit of a challenge because this is a capital intensive initiative. The entire globe is basically in an energy crisis right now, and everybody is scraping around for a solution, different kind of strategies that they're using. And yes, because we all want to bring a solution to this crisis that we find ourselves in. And we've been running around trying to get investors, funders who would want to partner with us. And we've been hitting a hard rock every now and then. We actually just came to realize, just as Mahatma Gandhi said, that if you want to see change, be the change. And same as us today, if we want to have a solution, we must be that solution. And this is the reason why we are here today, because we have decided it is time that we become the solution. It's no longer a time where we sit back and expecting another person to come forward and say, I have a solution for you. It is time for us to stand up and say, here we are. We are that solution. And if we want to solve any problem that affects or impacts on humanity, we can never solve that problem in silos. That problem really needs a collective. And today we are going to talk about that solution. And I know the excitement has been revived all over again, and we cannot wait what solution we have. Today, we are introducing the Energy Fund. We've been talking about this Energy Fund since the latter part of last year, but apparently we just did not have a strategy on how we can introduce it. And because we have given ourselves a few more months, where now we decided to just leave everything, refocus, regroup, and re-strategize. And that is why we say now we are ready to bring that platform to the world. But you being the foundational part of our initiative, that is why we're saying the first 2 sessions of our 12-part series is just going to be dedicated on you as the leaders of our initiative in Africa. And we are saying, before we can even go out and talk to the people, we need to understand exactly what it is that we are bringing to the people and how we would like to interact with the people and how we would like them to be involved in the solution. And this today and the next session, we will just be discussing on how we can lay a firm foundation for this continent. This is not an easy job that we are doing. It's a very, very intensive, very complex solution that we say we want to bring to the people, because now we want to give them a solution without really making it heavy on them financially. And that is a huge task. Well, in the course of these months that we've been studying, we decided to revive and rekindle our relationships that we had in the past in terms of investment and funding, foreign funding, which we were very successful in. We now have at least 2 international investors and funders who are saying we are willing to be part of this energy fund that you are birthing. But there are a few things that we need to tie in before they could bring in their finances. And that is one of the things that we will be talking about today, on how we can be able to see that we comply and we are regulated to act as such. So it's very exciting for me as a person who has really been leading the process to finally come to you and say, oh yeah, at last we do have a proper solution. And so we will be talking about the investments, we will be talking about our partners, we will be talking about how we will be partnering with them, and we will also be talking about your involvement and how you can play a part in this solution that we are bringing. And also, we will also be talking on how we can rope in the rest of our network that we have already established and developed over the months last year. How do we also make them part of the solution? And yeah, as I mentioned earlier, that we can only solve the solution if we work together as a collective. That's the only solution, because the solution lies within us. It's just a matter of unifying ourselves. And you know what? There's nothing the world fears the most like unity, especially unity of the African people. So, right now, as the African children, we have decided to come together and bring this solution. And when I am mentioning African children, I am not talking about race, I am not talking about gender, I am not talking about color. I am talking about everybody that is in Africa and part of Africa, and who is also looking forward to the solutions and be part of the solution. So let us all unify and work together. So yes, we are introducing the Tribar Energy Fund. In our next series, where now we involve the public, we will also be looking deeper into why did we decide to name it Tribar. What's this got to do with tribes, and what kind of tribes are we talking about? It's very interesting, and we will be laying it out. We will skin it to the bone so that all of us are in the same level of understanding in terms of our engagement in the solution for our future. And from now moving forward, there shouldn't be any other obstacle. The only obstacle that we will find is us now being an impediment to the way forward. And what I like about the team that we have is that we are all enthusiastic and optimistic about the future of our continent and about bringing the solutions. And the beautiful part about all this is that this energy crisis we find ourselves in, it is basically bringing us back to the drawing board, and it is going to be our springboard into the future and into the diversification of whatever else we need to do for Africa to rise. And this is our moment. And we are blessed as the African continent because we are the only continent in the entire planet where the sun shines 365 days in a year. And especially now here in South Africa, we are greatly positioned as a country to be the best recipient of the radiation of the sun. And why can't we use all of these resources, of this natural capital, to build something for our children, for our communities, for our legacy as a continent? And the minute we start engaging from that point, where now we are talking as a whole family and not just individual people who are wanting to come up with the cause. Bringing to you, we are saying that we want to train each and every one of you to be what is called an IPP. An IPP is an independent power producer. So now as an IPP, you will be exactly in the same position as River Energy Solution, but you will be independent, but having our full support in everything, including the training, the resources, the financial resources, and also the products, the solar energy products. So now You will be working more like a franchisee, and we will be a franchisor, where we are there with you all the step of the way. So we will train each and every one of you on how to be a successful, compliant IPP. We will also conduct training for installers, for solar system installers. We will also conduct training for site auditors, and we will also conduct training for your sales force. So now the entire spectrum will be covered in the training, and the training is going to be conducted by River Club Institute. We all know what the River Club Institute are, because you are the members of the River Club network, and all that emanating from the River Energy Solution. But this particular 12-part series now is presented to you by WIPFIN, which is Women in Power FinTech Company. WIP Invest, which is Women in Power Invest, was established in 2018 by a group of women, where I was leading the process as the founder. And basically, the purpose of WIP Invest, when we established it, was to come together as a group of women, where now we're saying, as people who are naturals by nature, as people who are builders by nature, what it is that we can bring together to bring a solution and take the lead in the building of our economy. Because we cannot run away from the fact that women are builders and men are leaders, and we haven't really built anything yet. So there isn't really anything much for our men to lead. So this is our time, where now we are saying we are ready. We want to start the foundational work of building and nurturing the process. So when we talk of women in power, we're not necessarily narrowing all of that into only women who will be part of the lead, but women will own up the entire process. And obviously, we are going to invite and extend the invitation to everybody else who would like to be part of the process. So from the WIP Invest, which now has become the holding company for many other initiatives that we started thereafter, as an investment holding company now, under it, there is a subsidiary called WIPFIN, which was now established in 2020. When we started as WIP Imali. Those who were with me at that moment will know exactly what I'm talking about, because we actually had over like 3,000 members back in 2020 who came and said, we want to be part of the process, and they committed themselves into that process. So from there, WIP has also diversified not only into fintech as WIPFIN, but it also diversified into the automobile industry, where now they are actually owning and holding 20% shares in an electric vehicle manufacturing company. And today, we have decided as WIPFIN that because we have rekindled our partners in terms of investors and funders internationally who were part of our process previously, so we have decided to go back and invite them again. And because the partnerships and everything were done in the name of WIPFIN, so we decided it would really make perfect sense if we bring them back into the same space where we invited them in back then. So now WIPFIN will be leading the process as the mother of Triber Energy Fund, because we are already in the fintech space, which is the financial space. We saw it really fit to use the platform as the mother of the fund. And we will be talking about what the fund will do, who can access the fund, how will the funds be dispersed and distributed, and what types of projects are we going to be taking in, and how vast is the energy fund going to be? Is it going to cover only South Africa, or is it going to cover the continent? We are also going to talk about the diaspora in terms of how they can also come in and partner with us in the process. And actually, talking of the diaspora, one of our funders that have come back and agreed to partner with us all over again is an African brother who is now based in UK, who has been based in UK for over 20 years, 20 or 30 years now. So he has established himself an investment bank there, and now he is saying, I want to partner with you as part of the diaspora to come and bring in the resources for Africa. And that is very exciting. And we also have local support in terms of our government, some government entities, which I will mention as I go deeper into our presentations. So basically today is more of saying welcome to the Tribal Energy Fund, and let's sit around this table and discuss on how we can play a foundational role into what we are currently building and how we can rope in other entities and networks so that they can be part of this process. And I am now going to just do a little bit of a PowerPoint or a slide presentation where I will be taking you step by step. And as I mentioned earlier, this is going to be a 12-part series where we will be doing this every single week. And the first 2 parts or the first 2 series is going to be dedicated on you as the leaders of Africa, where now we will be sitting on a round table and discussing the engagements and the involvement of the larger part of our networks. So in the presentation, I'll just be showing you briefly the summary of the Energy Fund, which partly you already know. And I will also be sharing with you how the structure is going to work and the strategies. And then moving forward, we will be discussing together on how we move forward. And thank you once again. If you have just joined us, please don't forget to go to the chat, introduce yourself, and tell us which country you are coming from. And let me just delve straight into the slide presentation. And well, okay, before I get into the presentation, this is how we're going to be structuring our parts. We are just going to do a 30-minute, strictly 30-minute series where the first 10 to 15 minutes is going to be me doing the introduction and the presentations, and the 20 minutes is going to be question and answers. And if not all the questions have been answered within the 20 minutes, then we can extend those question and answers into our social spaces like WhatsApp group, Facebook groups, Facebook pages. We also have our very own social network, which is called Roll It. Most of you might know about it. We also have groups there that we can make use of to extend our correspondence and our questions and issues, where now we will also address them there. And we will have a recording of every part that we present, and we will make that available on our platform, which is called Bioscope, and we normally call that our YouTube of Africa. So we will take all the recordings and put them there for your perusal and for you to share with your broader network on how we're going to be going about it. So the Energy Fund is for all of us. Everybody is invited to join and be part and partake from the Energy Fund and be empowered. And yeah, I'm excited, about this journey that we are starting out together. Let me go now into screen sharing and see how we can take it from there. And then I will give you the 20 minutes for question and answers, and we can extend the conversations outside of the space in our social spaces.